Hello, everybody. Wayne Haney, your insurance professor and licensed insurance counselor here. I've been doing a romp through homeowners insurance. And for this fifth installment, I want to talk about section 5 and 6, or often referred to as Part E and Part F, which are the liability and medical payments to others sections of your homeowner's insurance. And these are the parts that really deal with lawsuits. And as I've mentioned in sessions about auto, in my experience, lawsuits are really where people get financially destroyed. If you have to replace a car out of pocket, it would sting, but most people would somehow find a way to get over it. If you had to pay out of pocket for a major repair on your home, it would definitely sting, but probably something that many could at least find a way to endure. But a lawsuit that goes into the 750, 1 million, 1.25, 1.5 million dollar range, those are tough to get over financially. And so just like on auto, if we are found liable for something that happens at our home, then the courts can and will take up to 25% of our pre-tax paycheck to pay that settlement. So the key is to have at least that much in liability protection so that if, that horrible day were to come your way, your insurance company is prepared to pay those big checks and you do not have to. To be honest, homeowners liability claims are relatively rare. I remember years ago, there was a story that made national headlines for a minute that talked about the worst ant in America. At least that's how they dubbed it. And for a better part of a week, there was a story that went around about this horrible aunt who sued her nephew. Well, in point of fact, she was staying with her nephew. She was unemployed, didn't have health insurance, and she fell in his home and broke both of her wrists and hands severely. And the only way that she could afford to get medical care was to file a claim through his homeowner's policy. So it wasn't a lawsuit the way I think many of us may tend to think of lawsuits, where there's this adversarial situation and people are in court in that regard. But it was a claim against the homeowners. So Part F, the medical payments to others, takes care of immediate first aid for somebody who's hurt in your home other than someone who lives there. So another story that I remember is clients from years ago, and they always threw a Christmas party. And at one of these parties, they had a guest who needed to use the restroom urgently. And so she ran as fast as her little legs would take her into the bathroom, except for what she ran into was actually the dark stairwell to the basement. And down she went. And so that $5,000 is what paid for the immediate ambulance response and the ambulance run. And then in their case, they had $500,000 of liability protection. And so once their guest was admitted to the hospital, that's the part of their homeowner's claim that stepped in. And honestly, at the time, they thought she was going to pass away. And fortunately, these people also had an umbrella policy, and the entire medical bill and procedure got up into the $750,000, $800,000 range. And then shortly after the new year, she just woke up and was right as rain, and all was right with the world. And the insurance paid for all of that. So Part F handles the immediate emergency care. Part E is the liability for any liability that comes after somebody gets into the emergency room and gets admitted. So as with all things, please consult your advisor and make sure that your assets are properly shielded by this part of your homeowner's policy. If you don't have an advisor, I'm Wayne Haney. I'm right in downtown Lake Orion, and you can definitely send me messages here on Facebook. Honored to help. Please be safe.